Layla sighed heavily, switching her laptop off. She just remembered she had to visit the hospital today to see her father. The doctor called the previous day to inform her that they found the donor for his kidney transplant. Her father, Marcos, her joy and pride, was one of the reasons she was still living. She had to live for him. He was the only reason she was still in this house. She would have moved out the moment she finished college, but her father had pleaded with her to stay. Layla quickly changed into comfortable clothes as she dashed out from her room. "Layla, where are you off to?" her stepsister Scarlet asked as she alighted from the stairs. "The hospital. The doctor called last night. He said they found a donor." Layla responded with joy in her heart as they both squealed happily. "And what's the cause of all that noise?" Rosalie, her stepmother, asked in annoyance, stepping out from the kitchen. "Mother," Layla muttered softly, tucking her hair behind her ear, intimidated by Rosalie's presence. Rosalie was far from nice, and her being her only spelt one thing: trouble. "Mom, you won't believe this. The doctor found a donor for Dad. Dad can be saved." Mom, Scarlet announced happily as she went to hug her mother. "How did you find out?" Rosalie questioned, throwing deadly glares at Layla, who picked her fingers nervously. "Layla told me so. The doctor called her," Scarlet replied. "So the doctor called you, without reaching his wife first, and you bastard didn't even tell us before rushing to the hospital, like a good daughter." "Oh wow," Rosalie snapped with heavy sarcasm. I didn't mean to, I was just..." Layla began, but was interrupted by Rosalie. "Oh, shut your trap. I didn't mean to, I was just..." "You were just stupid," Rosalie mimicked with all the hatred she could muster. "I'm sorry," Layla tried apologizing so Rosalie could just stop with her tauntings. Today is a good day and she didn't want to ruin that. "You're always sorry. That's why you'll never be successful in your miserable life. I've told your father countless times to destroy that laptop of yours. You're always writing, but nothing to show for it." Rosalie spat, shooting deadly glares at her. "You're so useless, Layla. Look at you. You just finished college and have nothing to show for it. Not even a job. All you do is sit your ass down lazing around and getting old in that room of yours." "Mother," Layla called in tears. Every day Rosalie always comes up with new insults. How's she getting old? She's just 21. Scarlet is 22, and the both of them are not working. Then why does Rosalie find faults with her? "I am not your mother. How many times will I tell you? I'm not your mother. Your useless mother is lying in the grave somewhere." "Stop. Please stop all these. I told you never to bring my mom into this," Layla yelled with tears in her eyes. She lost her mother when she was younger, and since then she had taken Rosalie as her own mother. But the same thing couldn't be said for Rosalie, who thought the little girl was nothing but an obstacle in her life. "You're so rude, you know. Now get inside before you lose your teeth," Rosalie threatened as Layla shook her head, adamant about the idea to go inside. She wanted to meet her father so bad. At least he's the only one she could talk to. "Mother," Layla called softly. "Am not your mother," Rosalie yelled as she moved to drag her hair. "Mom, please, let me go," Layla sobbed loudly as Rosalie dragged her upstairs, pulling her hair. All the while Scarlet just stood watching the drama unfold. "Am not your mother," Rosalie exclaimed angrily, tightening her grip on Layla's hair. "You won't leave here until I say so," Rosalie ordered, tossing roughly into the room before slamming the door in her face. "That was too harsh, Mom," Scarlet yawned in sarcasm as Rosalie came downstairs. "But you enjoyed it." "Of course, certainly," Scarlet giggled. "I'll pack some food, take them to your father. You can also invite Mike to accompany you." "Really?" Scarlet squealed in joy as her mom nodded affirmatively. "Thanks, Mom, you're the best. I'll freshen up and fix my makeup. Besides, Mike is coming too." Scarlet blushed, rushing to her room upstairs. Layla sat in her room quietly, watching the clear night sky as tears flowed from her eyes freely. She was a little baby when she lost her mother. She lived with her Aunt Stella for 6 years before Marcos came, claiming to be her father. saying he wanted to fulfill his fatherly duties and make it up to her mom. Rosalie has never been kind to her since the day she stepped foot in this house. She claimed she was a daughter of a mistress, a child that resulted from a stupid mistake, so Layla was also a mistake, since she was never meant to be born at first. Layla always stood and relied on her father Marcos, who always stood for her and supported her, but it only made Rosalie worse. That was how she grew up, in hatred and in love. Her sister Scarlet was also another pillar of support, who was also very kind to her. Her father was later diagnosed with a kidney stone and needed a transplant. They couldn't find a donor among any of the family members, so they opted to find one. The other important people in her life were her boyfriend Mike and best friend Aurora Lawrence. They also stood for her and supported her. The only problem was that Aurora moved away from the city a year ago with her brother to go settle in New York City. It's been so boring without her friend. "I'll have to be strong and fight this," Layla encouraged herself, wiping off her tears before walking up to her bed to sleep, hoping to leave the house tomorrow. If Rosalie doesn't let her out, she has no other options but to do things her own way. Please download Novels Ago and search the code in the upper left corner to continue reading.